Today on Rappler. A former LTFRB executive recants allegations of corruption in the agency. A Senate panel approves the budget of the Office of the President in less than 30 minutes. Meralco will hike prices this October, citing higher generation costs. Authorities confirm 2 Filipinos were killed in the Hamas attack in Israel. Australian journalist Cheng Lei returns home after being detained in China for 3 years. Filipino singer Juan Carlos makes OPM history with single Ere on the Spotify Global Chart. And Alden Richards admits he once had romantic feelings for Aldub fame partner Maine Mendoza. Former Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board official Jeff Tombado recants his claims of corruption in the office. Just days after he boldly alleged corruption all the way to the office of the president, Tombado says his public declarations were, quote, unintentional and misguided. In an October 9 press conference organized by Transport Group Manibela, Tombado alleged that suspended LTFRB chairman Teofilo Guadiz III regularly accepted bribes of up to 5 million pesos in exchange for the speedy approval of special permits, franchises, and modification of routes. Tombado adds the sworn affidavit is a public apology to Guadiz, Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista, and the Office of the President. Bautista categorically denies involvement in any form of corruption since taking the top position in the Transportation Department. The Office of the President breezes through committee-level budget deliberations in the Senate, with no lawmaker asking questions from Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin and other representatives on the office's 2024 spending plan. Senate Finance Committee Chairperson Sonny Angara terminates the hearing after only 21 minutes.
There are no colleagues. That means I think they have a vote of confidence in your budget. So we will favorably endorse your budget for plenary consideration.
The topic of confidential and intelligence funds was not raised. In the proposed 2024 budget, the OP is seeking 10.7 billion pesos, including automatic appropriations, higher by 1.6 billion pesos from the current fiscal year. Around 42% of the OP's proposed budget for 2024 falls under confidential and intelligence funds. This amounts to 4.56 billion pesos. The Manila Electric company will raise power rates in October as higher generation charges push up costs. Meralco will adjust rates upward by 42 centavos per kilowatt hour in October, bringing the overall rate for a typical household to 11.82 pesos per kilowatt hour from September's 11.39 pesos. A typical household consuming 200 kilowatt hours a month will see an increase of around 84 pesos in their total electricity bill. Meralco says independent power producers and power supply agreements inched up in September due to higher costs of fuel. Transmission charges for residential customers also increased due to higher ancillary service charges. Philippine Ambassador to Israel, Pedro Lilo Jr., confirms 2 Filipinos are among those killed in the surprise attack by Hamas in Israel. One was killed when Hamas militants knocked on the door where the Filipino lived and opened fire, while the circumstances of the death of the other Filipino who was captured by Hamas remains unclear. Lilo says he personally spoke to the wife of one of the 2 dead Filipinos, saying it was the most difficult phone call in his career. The embassy declines to identify the 2 dead, citing the request of their families. One was a 42-year-old man from Pampanga, while the other was a 33-year-old who comes from Pangasinan who had worked for 6 years in Israel. Lilo says President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is set to speak to the wife of the Filipino man who died. Australian journalist Cheng Lei, who had been detained in China on national security charges for more than 3 years, returns home on Wednesday, October 11. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says Cheng, who was tried in secret in March 2022, arrives in Melbourne and reunites with her 2 children and family. Cheng was a business television anchor for Chinese state television when she was detained in August 2020 for allegedly sharing state secrets with another country. In a letter to Australia released publicly in August, Cheng writes of missing her children aged 11 and 14 who have been living in Melbourne with their grandmother while she was detained. Australia had repeatedly raised concerns about her detention. OPM pride is sky high as Juan Carlos's newest single Ere makes history as the first Filipino song to appear on the Spotify Global Chart. The track enters the top 100 at 87th place with 1.45 million streams 2 days after it debuted at 177th place on Saturday, October 8. On top of securing a spot on the global charts, it is also the first Filipino song to make the 1 million mark in a single day of streams. The song also surpasses a record previously held by OPM band Lola Amor's Raining in Manila, the OPM song with the biggest single-day streams in the Philippines. Ere is also the song, regardless of genre, with the biggest single-day streams in the country, which was achieved earlier on by Taylor Swift's Mine, Taylor's version. Juan Carlos, also known as J.K. Labajo, rose to fame after placing third in the first edition of the competition show, The Voice Kids Philippines. Alden Richards admits he once had romantic feelings for his on-screen love team partner, Maine Mendoza. In his guesting on Fast Talk with Boy Abunda, host Boy asks Alden if he had ever fallen for Maine romantically throughout their years as Aldab, their love team formed on the noontime show Eat Bulaga. Alden confirms he had feelings for Maine, adding he had confessed to the actress. Boy also asks Alden if he considered Aldab his biggest romance and breakup, which Alden both agree to. He adds he is very grateful to Eat Bulaga and says both him and Maine needed growth. In the same interview, Alden also admits he had feelings for Miss Universe 2015 Pia Wurtzbach, as she would regularly come on set to visit her close friend Pauline Luna Soto, one of Eat Bulaga's past hosts. And that's today's wrap. I'm Nina Liu. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok.